Hello, golf club players, and more so, hello, golf club designers, or those thinking they want to, or have the itch to give it a try. So today's episode will be more about
Hello there and
philosophy
welcome
of
to this
design
first
as
hole of
opposed to
par
play.
4. Let's have a
So I'm
good
going to take
time.
you out to one of my courses of the 30 or so I think I've designed. I'm a little bit proud of maybe two of them because I finally took a different tact to doing them and I learned some stuff. So bear with me and I'll talk about it a little bit while we watch mostly a flyover, a couple of holes of play, but we're going to go on. We're on the first tee here at my Rutgers University golf course and do a quick helicopter ride around this area. Back in the day when I played this, this was before, phone. Well, mostly before phone in. You dial the number like 25 times until you could get in, and pick an available tee time. This was before the internet really took over with the Golf Now type places there where you could go online and get a tee time right online and just show up and play. But back in the day, that parking lot across the street, if I was going to play a Sunday night round with my regular, three other buddies, one of us, it was always one of our turns to get there by 10 or 11 o'clock p.m. Saturday night and sleep out. And then a little while before the course opened in the morning, the course manager would show up and hand out little tickets or key fobs or something with a number on it, and then you went to the clubhouse and stood in line, and then paid your greens fees. Your buddies would be there, and then whatever number you had, if you had number one, if you were lucky enough to get there at 9 o'clock at night, you teed off first, and this was approximately 6 a.m. The spring or summer, the sun was just coming up. So you can see it there. You parked in that parking lot. And like I say, you went, you paid your greens fees, you got your order number, and when you had that, you walked up to the starter's shed, and when it was time to send you up, when the previous foursome had teed off, then you would go up and you'd wait for them to get out there and hit their shots into the green, and then you teed off. So that's how it worked. My particular experience on this was we were always there. We were within the first handful of groups teeing off. And when I designed this course, I was very careful to do some compass work. And first tee, the sun was always in our eyes. We're just going to do some flyovers on the holes in order, and a couple of them will show some play. A couple of them have a bit of a story. This par three here, there were trees up here, and it was kind of got to aim it between the trees and hope for the best. This course is as accurate as I could do it. I put a lot of work into this on the internet. And Google Maps for the overhead, so you can see the layout from the overhead, and using scorecard illustrations and photographs on the website and stuff like that. I was able to put this course together, and like I say, it is as accurate as I could possibly make it with my skills, as well as the tools that are available in the designer, which could use some additions, could use a little bit more work. It's unbelievable. Here we are on the one hole there. This is as far out. You see the Porta Johnny out there to the right on the outward leg. This is about as far as you would have been from the clubhouse. So that's where the convenience would have been. It was a pretty straightforward bit of a dog leg to the right, wide open to the left fairway, and kind of had to negotiate the trees.
On the tee. Let's do this.
Now this is the par 5 that always gave me headaches. This was difficult for an amateur, novice type golfer that was just kind of getting started, having trouble with the driver off the tee. It was a par 5, so you pull the driver, and more often as not, I'd be shooting a 9 here. Excuse me. So it took a while. You want to get it out past those bunkers, but it's still looped around. So for most everybody, it was a 3-shotter, especially with that creek there fronting the green. So you wanted to be a little bit careful. Judge the wind as best you can. I had it for this round pretty much pegged, I don't know, 8 to 12 variable. So always had to make some kind of adjustment. I put a bit of a natural draw on most stuff there, so it usually helps. There we are. I think we're about the 200-yard marker. Yeah, we're 245 to the hole still, so this was lay up somewhere, take some kind of short club into the green and try to get it close. Anyway, to the subject at hand, I want to address the course designers or those that thinking they're going to want to give it a shot. Number one, and I'm going to beg right now, don't just randomly generate something. You're not going to get any kind of good results. It's going to look stupid. Most guys are going to take one look at it from the snapshot. Excuse me, the snapshot you include, where they're going to see right away that it's it's just a dumb job. It's going to look like crap. It's not going to play really well. There's going to be a lot of stupid stuff. So if you're designing a course, start out with a piece of property. Pick a theme, pick a time of day. Where the sun's going to be and stuff. Do a little sculpting on the land. Throw in some infrastructure like clubhouse, buildings, initial walkways, stuff like that, and then custom layout 18 individual holes, one at a time. A word about that is, you could do all of that and probably, in 1 or 2 sessions, you can lay out 18 holes and think you're 90% done. And I will tell you from experience that once you've laid out 18 holes, you're about 10% done, because the rest is all detail. Even like, putting the ball washers and a couple of benches out there on these par 3s. This par 3 in particular always gave me a headache. It was downhill. And, you'd want to take less club. And for some reason, I was always short. Obviously, to play this game, your skills are, much easily better than, a guy just getting started with the game. The other thing I'd like to address before we get too far out here is the legitimate, PGA type courses out there. You're going to find quite a few out there. And pretty talented guys recreating some iconic, PGA courses like Pebble Beach or Harbor Town, St. Andrews, Augusta, which really springs to mind. There's a guy out there that did a treatment on Augusta. He calls it Magnolia, and he did a rendition of it last year that was pretty damn nice. I got to give it to him. But then during last summer, there was an update to this game that added some new surfaces, and one of which was the pine straw surface. So he did a redux on it for 2016, and he put all the pine straw out there. And did a lot of work with flowers and bushes and stuff, so it's very colorful when you get to holes like number 12. You know, the color is out there, and anybody who watches the Masters telecasts knows that in the springtime there. In general, you know, the azaleas are blooming. It's extremely colorful, extremely beautiful. The course itself is extremely green and lush, and he managed to recreate that for the most part. Highly reminiscent of watching the Masters on TV, and as good a job as EA ever did in the Tiger Woods games. I would guarantee you that. This is a pretty cool hole. This is one of the ones I think I did is, you know, 99% authentic. It was a 10th hole. You know, for the most part, you could take a driver up there short of the hazard, lateral water there, and take some kind of short club up to the green. So this is the one I'm particularly fond of.
Nice.
Always gave me fits because most of the time I would find myself in those trees to the left, you know, because I really wasn't that good. The happy part of that was that's where a lot of people lost their balls, and many times I'd find a one-hit Titleist sitting out there, and I'd pick it up and say, oh, okay, I'm going to play this a while. But you can go in here, you know, just put that sand wedge back in my stance a little bit, and just for the wind. You see the detail there. I mean, I put balloons and aircraft and, you know, even a blimp occasionally, you know, Zeppelin, whatever you want to call it. Every once in a while I'll put out, you know, a little bit of wildlife here around the water, up there, a couple of deer hanging out, taking a drink at a water, at a pond or something. This is hole number 11, par 3. It was uphill, again over the lateral hazard, adjacent to the last hole. And, you know, this was always a bit of a struggle with club selection and actually hitting it good. This is another one here. I feel like I did a, you know, as good a job as possible in recreating exactly what it is. So, you know, if you want to go out there and do that, there's plenty of available information on the internet. Some courses are really generous with the information on their websites, including copies of the scorecard that show the illustration of how the hole is laid out, bunker placement for the most part, yardages. So, you know, if you find one you can do, the information is there. Like I say, between the internet and, you know, Google Maps overhead looks at the layout, you can take a cracking shot at it. Getting back to the iconic courses, they've been done. Okay, I urge you, you know, not to try it. There's stuff out there that's already, you know, really good jobs. What I would suggest you do, if you're a, you know, an actual golfer, you know, a guy who works 5-6 days a week and gets to get out on a Sunday morning or a Saturday afternoon, and, you know, to get away from the kids and the family and stuff, and hang out with your buddies and, you know, kill 4 hours on a nice morning or afternoon, you know. Pick a course that you've played, one that you're familiar with and enjoyed, and some of this is being, you know, authentic and accurate as possible, and some of it should be based on, you know, how you feel about it, you know, impressions, you know, how it affects you, or how an individual hole might have, you know, particularly challenged you or gave you fits or you had success on. So, you know, put a little bit of thought in it, no matter what you do.
To play on this hole.
There are limitations to the course designer. There's a few. One improvement they could make would be to, you know, add some more stuff. You know, more buildings, better ways to make parking lots. There's a ton of stuff that guys do, and I know I do. Okay, I apologize for any gap there might have been there. I got to the 15 minutes. I had to split the clip, so
See what you
hoping
can do.
things don't get too stupid. Anyway, there are limitations. They could add a few more things to it. For instance, guys try to do the PGA recreations, and obviously there are no spectator stands or camera towers or anything like that. But it's amazing some of the guys have done with using stairways and over little what do you call them? Gazebo type structures there that have made really good shot at. You blink a little, you got to squint a little bit, but you can see that the attempt was made. This par 3 here was always a challenge as well. You got to go over the water. There was that tree out there to the left. Did put something in your eyes. Success or failure, was by the wind. Often I'd be short just like that. Here we are at 18. It was over the big pond. You have no idea how many balls I've lost in this water. And if you did make a good shot, you had some couple of bunkers out there right and left in driver range. So even if you did manage to get it over the water, chances are you were in the damn bunker. So, but here's 18, and it was always fun. So anyway, do your best if you're going to do course design. One of the limitations, very unfortunately, is a guy did a recreation of Torrey Pines, which is on the California coast on the cliff sides. A good deal of the course is up on the cliffs and probably somewhere around 100 feet above sea level. And sea level is your water table.
Nice.
So the guy did, you probably go on there and play 17 holes and say, wow, this guy did a really good job. Then you get to the par 5, 18th hole, and you're, thinking about it. And you look out there, and right in front of the green is a bunker. And, you say, oh, boy, this guy failed, what a moron. That's water there. That's not a bunker. But he was 100 feet above the water table, and he couldn't put the water there. So he did the next best thing there. He put a bunker hazard there. So, you need to forgive him. If you've played it and whatever you thought about it, give the guy a break because, he did the best he had, or the best he could with what he had. So,
Nice.
think highly of that course because it's very nice, very nice recreation of it and deserves some respect and a good rating. All right, we're reaching the end here. So, like I say, get out there, design some courses, but, be good about it.
For the green here.
Find yourself your favorite local course that you play. It's a municipal or county course, not a PGA setup or a major setup. Pins are accessible. Flags are near the middle of the green, not too hard. So we're at the end there, and I hope you get something from this presentation. See you next time.